You're welcome to Nationwide, reaching you on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Lami Ali. President Muhammadu Buhari says despite shrinking resources, his administration remains irrevocably committed to doing her very best for Nigeria and Nigerians as a bounden duty. This was while receiving in audience the ambassador of Burkina Faso to Nigeria. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu brings us the details.
Ambassador Pierre Framindo was in the State House on a farewell visit to President Muhammadu Buhari. His 8-year tour of duty to Nigeria has come to an end. President Buhari congratulates the outgoing envoy for his eventful and result-oriented tenure in the country. He hopes that the envoy would use experiences garnered in the field for effective decision-making in his country. Leaders, he said, should always do the best for their people within the limits of resources. As for him, President Buhari emphasized that henceforth every day counts and must be utilized in the delivery of public good. Ambassador Ndo expressed the good wishes of his country to Nigeria, commending President Buhari for his diplomatic prowess, which has seen Nigerians leading key international organizations. He equally expressed appreciation for Nigeria's tremendous support to Burkina Faso during the flooding crisis, their national elections, and at many other critical times. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has reiterated the commitment of the federal government to the well-being of the Nigerian youths and the support towards the realization of their dreams. The Vice President stated this when he hosted the 2021 National Gold Award presentation ceremony in Abuja with the rider celebrating the efforts and resilience of young people. State House correspondent Jide Onifade has the story.
Celebrating with the young Nigerians for their achievements, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says this feat is a testimony to the fact that many young people in Nigeria continue to offer their best to move the nation forward despite the challenge they are facing.
Today is a reminder of the many achievements of young people across Nigeria. Daily we have Nigerians in our armed forces leaving behind family and friends in internal operations across the country.
In recognition of the commitment of young people, the Vice President says government is all out to support them in meeting their aspirations.
So it's clear to us that our young people are our most valuable assets, and the federal government believes that they must be encouraged and supported in every way, which is why we're currently raising about $500 million to support technology and creativity. The project is led by the African Development Bank, which has already committed $170 million to the enterprise, and this will be supported by the federal government of Nigeria, the Islamic Development Bank, and the French.
The beauty of the award is that it makes you have self-identity. It teaches you to be a leader. And after the award, it made me self-reliant and an entrepreneur. And I also mentored younger people. And volunteerism is one major key part of my life now.
The National Gold Presentation Ceremony is aimed at celebrating the achievements of young people who have completed the gold level of the Duke of Edinburgh International Award, which operates in Nigeria under the name the International Award for Young People. From the banquet hall of the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, says authorities responsible for building of markets must integrate adequate measures to forestall incessant fire disasters across the country. The President of the Senate was speaking as the symbolic presentation of relief materials to victims of Nguru Market fire disaster in Yobe State. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports.
Nguru Market in Yobe State has been experiencing fire disaster, especially during harmattan. It occurred in 2020 and now 2022. Records from the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, indicates that the 8th of January fire disaster consumed 297 stores and 304 makeshift shops, and 1,464 victims were affected. Relief items delivered by NEMA include building materials, assorted grains, and condiments. The victims appreciated the federal and the state governments, as well as the Senate President and other spirited individuals for the support.
We appreciate their efforts. We really thank God.
Senate President Ahmad Lawan, while commiserating with the victims, said the disaster is one too many, hence the adoption of proactive measures. He donated 10 million naira to support the victims.
These things will be distributed to all those who have been affected by the fire incident. They are known to be very fair people. We believe in justice, and therefore whoever is affected, it doesn't matter what he believes in, what he is or what she is, a loss is a loss. Let's be proportionate in the distribution.
Humanitarian Affairs Minister Sadia Umar Farouk represented said the president is concerned about the plight of the victims, hence the deployment of relief materials to cushion the effects.
The relief items are meant to complement the efforts the Yobe State government is providing to the affected persons.
The Senate President inaugurated a distribution committee comprising state and local government officials, as well as NEMA and State Emergency Management Agency. From Unguru local government areas of Yobe State, Ilyasu Aliyakubu, NTA News.
Now, after years of waiting, the Kashimbila Hydro Dam in Taraba State is set to deliver 40 megawatts of power to the national grid. Ministers of Power and Water Resources stated this after inspecting the ongoing evacuation of electricity from the dam ahead of its inauguration this year. Joshua Ojito reports.
40 megawatts Kashimbila Hydro Dam. Construction completed, with evacuation of electricity in progress. So far, the first phase of evacuation, which connects the hydropower plant with Takum and Yandef substations in Taraba and Benue states, has been completed last year, with communities enjoying power supply.
Turbines completed, producing 40 megawatt capacity.
The second phase of power evacuation is in progress, expected to be completed this year. This visit by the Ministers of Power and Water Resources is to assess level of work and keep contractors on track for timely delivery.
And from the power plant, the Ministry of Power is evacuating the 40 megawatts through 132 kV lines, a double cycle, and connecting other villages, pouring to other villages around this area. We have given to Takum and Wukari electricity. They are already enjoying the electricity.
It shows that we are improving. Even light in all over the country has stabilized. So there's hope and there's assurances that with these commissionings ongoing, we shall have better power.
All the electromechanical components or hydromechanical components of the water scheme are already on ground, and the rest of the concrete work is being completed now. So I think we're about 80% with the water supply component. So there is so much to benefit from this project.
Well, the dam is also to supply potable water to Takum and other parts of Taraba State. The irrigation component of the dam will boost all year-round farming, as well as serve as a buffer dam in curtailing excessive water from Lagdo Dam in Cameroon that causes flooding along the rivers of Benue and Niger. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
And about 94% of villages in Akwa Ibom State have been connected to the national grid to ensure progress in all sectors of the state economy. Commissioner for Power and Petroleum Development, John James Etim, made this known during a media interaction in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Nsika Kokun has the story.
The Akwa Akwa state government has approved, released and installed over 470 transformers to 31 local government areas of the state. Commissioner for Power and Petroleum Development, who announced this, says so far 32,000 units of prepaid meters have been earmarked for installation in homes and business premises, while 12,000 units have been distributed and installed in Uyo Metropolis.
They have also constructed over 100 kilometers of both 33 kV high tension networks and 11 kV high tension networks all over the state.
While commending the state governor, Dom Emmanuel, for his efforts in ensuring stable power supply in the state, the commissioner also says that government has installed solar energy in some communities. He called for the protection of power infrastructure in their vicinity against vandalism.
They must ensure prompt payment of consumption charges and meter their subscription to avoid estimated billing.
It is the hope of beneficiaries that agencies in charge of power regulation and supply will ensure a steady power supply. In Uyo, Nsika Okon, NTA News.
The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has flagged off the training of master trainers of the N-Skills program from across the country to train targeted beneficiaries under the N-Power program. This is in furtherance of President Muhammadu Buhari's approval to revamp the National Social Investment Programs. Ruth Akwele has the story.
Romeo Osara, an artist, is in his late 20s and a dropout from school. For him, this skill is all he has for now.
Romeo Osara may be among the lucky few that will be selected for the N-Skills program that has just been launched. Now we hear 175 persons will be selected from across the 36 states and the FCT. Unlike the N-Power, it needs no formal education. These beneficiaries will be trained on lifelong skills. But how can this be achieved? The foundation needs to be set right.
To do that, the ministry is training master trainers selected from across the country. The minister, Sadia Umar Farouk, in a message, says the N-Skills program will help bridge the gap in the demand for standard and market relevance.
This program aims to improve the quality and relevance of skills delivered using a certification system and to ease the transition of target beneficiaries to full-time skilled employment. The program targets marginalized and disadvantaged population, including those with primary or no formal education at all.
N-Power targets delivering capacity and capability along with skills.
They always say that the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. So how are we going to prepare leaders for tomorrow if they don't have skills?
If they don't get it right from here, we cannot get it right at the grassroots.
The general expectations for the master trainers is to live up to their roles to achieve the desired goals. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
It's time to join Adeola in our Lagos studio for more on Nationwide. Hello, Adeola. It's over to you.
Thank you, Lami. The Federal Operations Unit, Zone A of the Nigeria Customs Service, is projecting a more intense border patrol in ensuring that illegal products and contraband do not find their way into the country. The acting controller, Hussein Ejibinu, while mapping out tactics to curtail activities of smugglers, sounded a note of warning to economic saboteurs to steer clear of the zone or face their Waterloo. Kende Adebisi report.
2021 was an unprecedented year for the Federal Operations Unit, Zone A of the Nigeria Customs Service. This is because, apart from frustrating smuggling activities, there were concerted efforts aimed at jealously safeguarding the economic propeller of the country from the hands of saboteurs. More than 25 items were seized in 2021, with 751 cartridges, 135 trailers of rice, and 16 containers of unprocessed wood leading the endless list. Duty paid value was put at close to 8 billion, apart from raking in more than 617 million in revenue. It is a laudable feat, which the customs promised to surpass, counting its more strategic approaches to smuggling activities since December 2021.
In this new year, all revenue leakages must be blocked as the Customs Intelligence Unit will spread their tentacles to furnish the unit with credible information regarding concealment, transfer of value, wrong classification, and low value.
In 2021, 4 officers from the Federal Operations Unit Zone A lost their lives during various operations, a bad flip on the unit's clean record in the year under review. But this time, the tactics will take the shape of community engagement and sensitization, and this has already started paving way to more surveillance and enforcement in a once hostile hinterland.
Dissipate a lot of energies to intensify patrols and ensure custom goods do not find their way into the country.
To forestall any importation of arms, the Federal Operations Unit of the Nigerian Customs Service said loopholes are being blocked, while creeks and flashpoints are under 24-hour surveillance. In Lagos, Kendi Adebisi, NTA News.
As the world continues to embrace technology to solve human problems, the Nigerian Television Authority is also leveraging on this to increase its frontiers in providing excellent and seamless television services to its viewers. This was the fallout at the first general meeting of the Lagos Network Center in 2022 and change of leadership of a station. Again, Kendi Adebisi report.
Apart from being the largest television station in Africa, NTA is perceived as the station of choice for many Nigerians as it continues to deliver outstanding, factual, and unbiased news reportage to its heterogeneous audience. On assumption of office in November 2018, the zonal director, Lawa Ahmed, faced a lot of challenges but was determined to make changes.
We have specifically been able to stabilize so many things, introduce so many things. We have stabilized the power supply here, especially the generators. We tried to give a new face to the 247 MCR of the Studio B. We even expanded the MCR, provided so many facilities. I met only one computer. I think there are about 6, 7, 8 computers now in that place. And then, of course, there are so many softwares that we added.
With its visionary leadership style and support of management staff, LNC established online presence on major platforms including DSTV, StarTimes, GoTV, and the social media. As it's moving up the ladder in service, staff in Lagos Network Center say it will truly be missed.
If you go to the website, it's beautiful, it's lovely, a lot of things are happening on the website. So anywhere you are, you can actually watch it. So he brought that in, and staff commitment too. So many people are actually able to go digital with him.
It took time to ensure we all got training on non-linear editing and introduced data journalism.
He has tried his best, and as we can all see today that our screen has changed for better, which is important.
The new zonal director, who was until now the general manager NTA Seba, said it will consolidate on the achievement of its predecessor and ensure that the station continues to grow.
I can't do everything alone. I need the support of the staff, I need the cooperation of everybody. People, like I said, our meeting need to bring their A games to work so that together all of us can navigate all the challenges that we have and find lasting solutions to them.
The collaboration of members of staff towards the realization of set goals of the organization was cherished as paramount. In Lagos, Kendi Adebisi, NTA News.
Those are the stories making the round in Lagos at this time, but we shall take a short break. Nationwide continues with a smile in Sokoto shortly. Stay with us.
The 157-kilometer Lagos-Ibadan Railway is the first double-track standard gauge railway to be built in West Africa. The Mobolaji Johnson train station is a masterpiece, an infrastructure that is gradually becoming an iconic building in Lagos State. The modern facilities put the station on a world map of train stations. Likewise, other new train stations across the country built to world-class standards. The train and its convenience is indeed an admirable effort, with commendations from Nigerians.
Candidates who are interested in gaining admission into NTATV College, Jos, for the 2021-2022 two-year National Innovation Diploma Program are to apply for admission through the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB. Courses available for application include film and television production, broadcast journalism, and television engineering technology. Such candidates must have a minimum of 5 O-level credits in relevant subjects including English language and mathematics. For inquiries, please call 0803-079-5335 or 0806-980-9807. Management Announcer.
Get ready for the tension and the heat as passionate entrepreneurs go head-to-head against 5 fierce multi-millionaire investors, pitching their businesses and ideas in order to get an investment of a lifetime. Some will taste victory, but not every idea will hit the right spot. Watch Nigeria's biggest investment reality TV show, Lion's Den, on Saturday, 8 p.m. on the NTA network. Lion's Den is proudly sponsored by EcoBank and Chapel Hill Denim and supported by Bank of Industry and Development Bank of Nigeria, with the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service as a strategic partner.
African Cup of Nations starts on the 9th of January 2022 on NTA, powered by Afrosports. For sponsorship and advertisements, contact us on 090-9890-6913 or 090-3513-2838.
Good evening and welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. Governor Aminu Waziri says governments at all levels have been committed to fighting bandits and banditry activities in Sokoto State. This was coming during a courtesy visit on the governor by the national leader of Jama'atul Izalatul Bid'ah wa Iqamatus Sunnah, Sheikh Abdullahi Balalo, at the government house, Sokoto. Sheikh Muhammad Dati completes the report.
The Islamic cleric was on the visit in company of other ulamas and leaders of the sect from Sokoto, Zamfara, Kano, and National Secretary of the group, Dr. Kabir Haruna Gombe, among others. Sheikh Abdullahi Balalo said they are in Sokoto on condolence and sympathy visit to the government and people of Sokoto State over the insecurity problem that claimed lives of many innocent people, as well as the recent inferno that resulted to loss of property worth millions of naira by many traders. Dr. Balalo described the incident as test to believe on the Muslims by Allah, advising Muslim Ummah to be their brother's keeper, especially in trial time. He called for more prayers for Allah's intervention and an end to the insecurity challenges in the state and the country. Sokoto State Governor, represented by his deputy Munir Muhammad Danya, commended the leadership of the sect and other ulamas on the visit, describing Sokoto as their home. He maintained that government at all levels have been committed to bringing an end to the banditry activities in the state, saying that federal government always responds positively to their cry out for help on banditry activities in the state. He says Sokoto State Government has provided vehicles to the security personnel, including bringing on board vigilante group to assist the security personnel in fighting the menace. Prayers for God's intervention were offered during the visit. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
The Senate and the Sokoto State House of Assembly have agreed to work together towards tackling the menace of drug abuse among students. This came to the fore at a one-day sensitization program on the dangers of drugs and narcotics abuse and trafficking among secondary school students in Sokoto State. Sheikh Muhammad Dati again reports.
In Nigeria, the burden of drug abuse is on the rise and becoming a public health concern. The country, which is the most populous country in Africa, has developed a reputation as a center for drug trafficking and usage, mostly among the youths, with a prevalence of 20 to 40% of drug abuse reported among students. This informed the decision of the two legislative committees on drugs and narcotics to organize this sensitization program on the dangers of drug abuse among secondary school students in the state. Clark Senate Committee on Drugs and Narcotics, Malam Isa Garba, and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Zonal Commander Zone G, Malam Isbahu Idris, emphasized the need for active collaboration to check the menace of drug abuse.
With a view to call on the parent, particularly parents and teachers, to keep watch on their children and wards and students to make sure that they remain drug-free.
At the end of the day, all these students that attend this will become part of members of the drug-free club in their schools. All we need to do is to join hands to fight the menace in our society.
Papers were presented by pharmacists Umar Attahiru and Malam Bashir Ahmad Sani on the topic Drugs and Education Never Mix and What Religion Says About Drug Abuse. Highlight of the occasion was the recognition of individuals who have contributed to the fight against drugs and narcotics abuse and trafficking. In Sokoto, Show Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
And that's it from here. Nationwide continues with Lami in Abuja. Good evening.
Thank you, Asma'u. Now, the National Planning Committee in charge of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration for 2022 wishes to inform the public and road users in the FCT that roads leading to the National Arcade and the Eagle Square, Abuja, will be closed to traffic between Friday and Saturday. A statement by Commodore M.A. Wabi on behalf of the Chairman Planning Committee indicates that it is to ensure a smooth Armed Forces Day celebration. The committee therefore advises motorists to use alternative routes for their convenience. Now, following recent announcements on reduction in the price of cooking gas by the federal government, buyers in Imo State say a more intensified effort will crash the price of the product. Reina Obasi, who has been monitoring the situation, has the details.
Towards the end of 2021, Nigerians woke up to shocking hike in the price of liquefied petroleum gas, also known as cooking gas. The increase from 300 to between 700 and 800 naira per kilo raised concerns among users who could not understand the reasons behind the exorbitant price of the product, which led to many resorting to alternative sources of cooking. The recent declaration by the federal government on reduction in the price from $2.50 to $2.18 per kilo has, however, made a mark. A visit to some gas stations in Owerri reveals that dealers are complying with the new price as declared, as they now sell for between 680 and 696 naira per kilo, as against the former price of 800 naira per kilo.
With the price we bought the gas the last time, we are selling 680. Maybe when we make our new purchase, I believe the price will come down more.
Some of the consumers commended the federal government for the slight reduction, stating that it has brought relief to them.
That difference of 500 naira, I can use it to buy about 2-3 cups of gari, which is an added advantage to my family.
At least it's a relief. As the year is just beginning, it is the hope of the people that other steps will be taken to make the price of cooking gas more affordable. In Owerri, Rina Obasi, NTA News.
We now move to Benin for more trending stories. Agatha is our guide.
Management policy to tackle challenges of indiscriminate waste disposal in Edo State. Stakeholders are sharing ideas with Governor Godwin Obaseki on how to tackle the challenges. Jude Abugu reports.
Against the background of a Cleaner Edo initiative by the administration of Governor Godwin Obaseki, this meeting is seeking a more holistic and sustainable approach to waste disposal and management in the state. Evaluating the situation, they identified non-compliance with the state sanitary laws, insufficient dump sites, and absence of legal framework for enforcement agencies as major factors.
When you don't bag your refuse, it causes a lot of man-hour loss when the waste managers come to remove that refuse. So the time they would have used to serve 100 houses, probably they can just do only 50. So we appeal to our people bag your waste.
To nip the recurring challenge in the board and contribute to its economic as well as social development plan, Governor Godwin Obaseki underscored the need for experts to collaborate with the government.
There may be a problem with the design of what we have now. Let us look at that design and let us redesign it for it to work. We already have some data from you. Let us use the data we have. And some of these things we are talking about cannot be just stock or manual. They have to be digitized.
Stakeholders later went into plenary where they brainstormed on the way forward. In Benin, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
The Oba of Benin, His Royal Majesty Ewaye II, has tasked journalists in the country to make objectivity and balance their watchword in the practice of their profession. This was when he received the executive and members of the Edo State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists in his palace in Benin City. Paul Omukago reports.
The royalty and aesthetics of this palace is enough motivation for any visitor to confidently articulate the issues of the moment when the opportunity arises to address the royal throne. This, the NUJ chairman seamlessly availed himself as he also spoke on plans to enforce discipline and regulation of the practice of journalism in the state. This intends to do through a compendium containing the names and medium of registered, qualified, and practicing media professionals.
We want to know our genuine members. We want to know members who are actually qualified, who are practicing in Edo State.
The Benin monarch underscored the need for decency, professionalism, and discipline as he openly endorsed steps by the NUJ to sanitize journalism practice in the state.
There must be discipline in society. That's why there's law and order. That's why journalists to keep watch on even the highest office on the land.
Members of the Nigerian Legion were also at the palace and decorated the Oba with the 2022 Armed Forces Remembrance Day emblem. The king recalled the struggle and commended President Muhammadu Buhari and other well-meaning Nigerians for supporting the Legion and families of fallen heroes. In Benin, Paulo Mukago, NTA News.
That's our package. Lami, it's back to you.
Last decade, this country has been at different wars trying to keep the peace and promote the sovereignty and the integrity of the country. The troops are doing their best. The president has given them all the necessary tools. It is left for us as young people and as Nigerians to give them all the support we can. We say kudos to all our gallant military men. Please, whenever you see a police officer in or out of uniform, if you know them, clap for them whenever they need be. Give them seats in buses and trains and airplanes. Have the airline managers reduce air tickets for them or train tickets for them. Show them that we appreciate what they do and show their families that there is something right and honorable and truly remarkable about wearing a uniform and going into the bushes and the forest to fight enemies of this country that are hell-bent in bringing your life to an end. It's a very tough time, but we have to all put our hands together. Please support our troops and support our police officers.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
African Cup of Nations starts on the 9th of January 2022 on NTA, powered by Afrosports. For sponsorship and advertisements, contact us on 090-9890-6913 or 090-3513-2838.
Thank you for staying tuned. The federal government's 4 billion naira intervention fund to the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development is to enable the agency manufacture vaccines locally in order to reduce the level of dependence on foreign countries. Minister of State Budget and National Planning Clem Agba stated this after an inspection tour of the institute in Abuja. Nneka Oku reports.
A multi-billion naira project that will redefine the face of the health sector in the country. Medicines and vaccines that come with huge capital flight can now be produced here thanks to a 4 billion naira intervention fund by the federal government. Good job by NIPRID, the minister told the DG of the agency after a long tour around the labs and the institute.
I know in the 2022 budget, working with the current Honorable Minister of Power, he had chosen 10 institutions where he's going to work this year to have dedicated off-grid power, that's solar.
Thank you, sir.
So discussing with him to see what we can do here to ensure that the equipment that have been bought do not go bad, especially since they require 24 hours power.
For the DG of NIPRID, the facility will be a money spinner for the federal government.
We will provide interventions that will not only improve access to healthcare, but also stimulate socio-economic development. Part of what this intervention has done for us is that we've been able to train thousands of herbal medicine practitioners.
The minister going back with a great sense of fulfillment, but promises to be back in 6 months' time. Then we'll be hoping to see a fully functional laboratory operations devoid of power failure. In Abuja, Nneka Oku, NTA News.
Following the declaration of vacancies by the Speaker of the House of Representatives and the Speakers of some state houses of assembly, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has scheduled by-elections for 6 constituencies in 4 states. The scheduled by-elections are in Akure North and South Federal Constituency, Ondo State, Just North Basa Federal Constituency, Plateau State, Pangshin South State Constituency, Plateau State, Goja Yala Federal Constituency, River State, Cross River State, Akpabuyo State Constituency, Cross River State, and Ngo Okpala State Constituency in Imo. The elections will hold on Saturday, 26 February 2022, immediately after the FCT Area Council elections. The Commission, however, decided to combine the Ekiti East One State Constituency election with the governorship election in Ekiti, which will hold on 18th June 2022. A statement by INEC's National Commissioner for Information, First Sokoto, indicates that the Commission is consulting with security agencies and other critical stakeholders relating to the vacancy in Shinkavi State constituency of Zamfara State, while the Speaker of the Kaduna State House of Assembly has not declared vacancy in relation to Jigawa State constituency of Kaduna State. Meanwhile, political parties shall conduct their primaries, including resolution of disputes arising from the primaries between 26 January and 5th February 2022, while the last day for submission of list of nominated candidates is at 6 p.m. on the 9th February 2022, and this must be done through the Commission's online nomination portal. Political parties shall submit the names of their polling agents for the election to the Electoral Office of the local governments on or before 12th February 2022, and campaigns by political parties shall stop on 24th February 2022. Still on politics, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, says there will be a level playing field for all aspirants vying for the party's presidential ticket in 2023. National Chairman of the party, Senator Iyorchia Ayu, stated this while playing host to frontline journalist and publisher Dele Momodu, and businessman Mazi Sam Ohabunwa, who were separately asked the PDP National Secretariat to declare their intentions to run for the nation's presidency come 2023. Timothy Yusuf reports.
All right. Journalist and publisher Dele Momodu was at the PDP National Secretariat to submit his letter of intent to vie for the nation's presidency on the platform of the party come 2023. The political party platform, he explains, is the only channel to achieving his aspiration.
If selected as the party's candidate, I hasten to add that this is my personal decision. I was not forced by anyone to do it, although I have received advice, encouragement, and support from diverse quarters since I started my consultations.
PDP National Chairman Senator Yochia Ayu assured Dele Momodu of the party's stance towards fairness, stating that it has no favored aspirant.
You have to go out and work out there among the party members across the country, because the party leadership will not do it for you.
Businessman Mazi Sam Ohabunwa was also at PDP headquarters to declare a similar aspiration.
My desire to offer myself to be used by the party and of God and change the story of Nigeria for good.
In another development, the National Secretary of the PDP, Senator Sam Anyanwu, inaugurated 3 special committees towards repositioning the party. They include review of the party's establishment manual, tenders, and staff audit. Timothy Yusuf, NT News.
And the Cross River State Governor, Professor Ben Ayade, has sworn in a veteran journalist, Timothy Akwaji, as the new head of service for the state, expressing satisfaction with his records, which he says will be brought to bear to streamline the state civil service. Paul Abel completes the report.
Geraldine Akpet Ekanem has been the head of service in Cross River State for the last 1 year, and as she bows out of service, it is the dawn of a new era as a veteran journalist assumes the saddle of responsibility. With the citation read by the Commissioner for International Development Cooperation, where Akwaji served as permanent secretary, Governor Ayade is convinced that the new head of service will deliver on his mandate.
You have also mentioned that he's a distinguished man in terms of attitude, integrity, character, honor, and values. To tell him more is to say that I am saying less. I want it to be a lesson to all the permanent secretaries that a relationship between a permanent secretary and commissioner should be, they have shown a perfect example of what good relationship should be.
The new head of service promises to promote the journalism profession and bring tangible reforms to the civil service.
As a veteran journalist, I have grown in the service to become head of service. We now, as professionals, we are longing for opportunity, you understand me, to play a key agenda-setting responsibility.
As going to this higher calling as head of service, it's going to be a better him, a bigger him, and the Cross River State government.
In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
And from Benue comes the report that the state governor, Samuel Otom, has charged members of his cabinet to brace up towards delivering a new Benue. He gave the charge when he swore in 8 new commissioners and 5 special advisors as the government house. Makudi Charles Abba reports.
The swearing-in of the 8 new commissioners and 5 special advisors by Governor Samuel Otom is on the heels of their recent confirmation by the Benue State House of Assembly. Governor Samuel Otom charged the new commissioners and special advisors to give their loins and work selflessly to ensure more dividends of democracy to the people and add value to the development of Benue State.
You must acquaint yourselves with our policy document, our collective vision for a new Benue, as well as the manifesto of the People's Democratic Party, and hit the ground running.
The governor then assigned portfolio to the appointees. He maintained that governance is not about making money, but service to the people. While Kester Kenge responded on behalf of the new commissioners, Richard Ujege did on behalf of the new special advisors. With the swearing in of the new commissioners and advisors, the state government has 16 commissioners and 30 special advisors. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
We have more news from Kaduna, and Salamatu is our guide. Over to you, Salamatu.
Thank you, and thanks for joining us here in Kaduna. The alteration of class session from 5 to 4 days in public schools by Kaduna State Government has taken effect from this Friday. However, boarding students are taking advantage of the days off to engage in personal development to fill the gap. Suleiman Rigachukun reports that primary school pupils and day secondary school students are underutilizing the additional one-day holiday. The report.
Curricular activities in public schools in Kaduna State have been tampered with on account of changes introduced by the state government for such schools to operate 4 instead of 5 days classes. Therefore, one-day reduction has altered lesson plans of teachers. However, some students, especially in boarding secondary schools, are taking advantage of the situation to attend to their assignments, while others, particularly of primary and day secondary schools, have different views on the Friday off.
Ina zuwa kasuwa, ina yin yawo na, ina yin kwallo ta, ina dan hawan abuna na hawa a unguwa.
This policy is directed at public schools, while class sessions are going on at private schools in the state.
When you do sensory contact with the environment, you will not have what ideas of the things that are happening in your world, in your environment.
The fear among stakeholders is that the existing gap between private and public schools in Kaduna State will continue to widen under the newly introduced policy, but government says measures to fill the gap have been put in place.
Friday, just like the civil servants have been given 4 working days, the same thing in the school calendar, it should be 4 working academic calendar too, so that the teachers and the students will have enough time through your social media, through WhatsApp, whatever, you communicate with your learners, give them assignment, let them respond, you mark and give it to them.
For now, public schools in Kaduna will continue to enjoy holidays from Friday to Sunday every week, hence the need for parents to support government policy by monitoring their children. Suleiman Rigachukun, NTA News.
More than 2,000 people are set to benefit from Jigawa State COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus Program in Jigawa State, tagged J-Care. Ibrahim Bello reports that the program supported by the World Bank kickstarts with sensitization and capacity building for prospective beneficiaries in Duse.
Small and medium enterprises being the backbone of the economy were, however, was hit by the 2020 COVID-19 lockdown. The situation results to the closure of businesses, hence the intervention of the J-Care COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus to facilitate recovery and enhance capabilities of MSMEs. This event is to prepare participants for the World Bank support being coordinated by the federal government, which will include grant disbursement to affected beneficiaries.
There are little intervention, there are loans, there are some grants. But even as for the grants, we are going to monitor and see that the funds are being utilized according to the purpose.
Everybody wants his business to flourish and prosper, you understand. So that is why we are sensitizing them on the importance of this and the importance of planning.
Financially, we're going to bounce back, we're going to use it judiciously to be able to at least come back to normal business, be able to purchase more items, market our business widely, and broaden our horizon.
Officials of Jigawa State Government presented papers targeted at Fadama development, managing grants, and MSMEs under the post-COVID-19 situation in Duse. Ibrahim Bello, NTA News.
And Ibrahim Bello's report completes our package from Kaduna. Is back to Lami in Abuja.
Many thanks, Salamatu. A technology village that will drive the digital economy policy in Nasarawa State is being built in the state under the public-private partnership arrangements. Minister of State for Science and Technology and Innovation, Mohammed Abdullahi, says the federal government will continue to leverage opportunities in the ICT sector to create jobs for the teeming youth. Ali Tijani Mohammed reports.
Excitement amongst the people of Karu local government area as Governor Abdullahi Sule lays the foundation for the construction of a technology village in the area.
So we support this initiative and hope, like what the speaker said, that the execution will be driven to its logical conclusion.
Our dream actually is to unite the state, to keep all the few differences apart, and just come together as a people for the development of the state. That is the vision. That is more important than anything.
Sited on 57 hectares piece of land, the technology village will have more than 1,000 housing units, an ICT campus, primary and secondary school, health facility, and a security outpost, among other facilities. 1 year is the target for the project to be delivered. 30 billion naira through private sector financing is to be expended on the project. Etsukaru Luka Panyababa, Director General of Nigis Soni Agassi, and Managing Director Nasida Ibrahim Abdullahi described the investment as a game changer as the state joins the League of Digital Economy Driving States. When completed, Nasarawa State will be one of the leading destinations for digital economy in the country. In Karu, Aliu Tijani Mohammed, NTA News.
To security matters now, the Zamfara State Police Command has paraded a 57-year-old man and 3 other suspects who allegedly engaged in murder, cannibalism and dealing in human parts. The suspects were arrested in Gusau, the state capital, following an intelligence. Jamilu Ibrahim has more.
The arrest of the 4 suspects, according to Zamfara State Commissioner of Police, followed a report received on the missing of a 9-year-old boy in Gusau, the state capital, which prompted the police detectives to engage in discreet investigation into the matter.
The police detectives received an intelligence report with regards to the earlier report that on same date at about 0900 hours, a corpse of human being was found in an uncompleted building at Barakullahu area of Gusau. The detective proceeded to the scene and found the corpse with some of the human parts removed and later evacuated to the hospital for autopsy.
CP Ayuba Elkanah added that the revelation so far made by the 57-year-old prime suspect is assisting the police investigation.
The second suspect, Abdul Shakur Mohammed, the 20-year-old boy, confessed that this was the 3rd time he was contracted by the first suspect, Aminu Baba, to source for human parts for him at the sum of 500,000 naira, which he successfully did for the first and the second time before his arrest while doing the 3rd one.
Zamfara State Police Command says the suspect will be charged to court upon completion of investigation. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Let's now join our sports desk for the latest in the world of sports.
Ahead of the second group games coming up on Saturday, Sudanese national team coach Bernardine Tia said they're expecting a tough match against Nigeria. Sudan, who recorded a goalless draw against Guinea-Bissau in their first match, must beat the Super Eagles of Nigeria to have any realistic chances of qualifying for the knockout rounds. Nigeria, on their part, defeated the Pharaohs of Egypt by a lone goal and now top the group ahead of the clash. Despite not being able to utilize goal-scoring opportunities from both countries in the second Group B encounter between Senegal and Guinea, the Senegalese side remained top of Group B with 4 points from 2 games, with Guinea also tied on the same points. Meanwhile, Friday fixtures will see 3 more matches scheduled to go down as Malawi take on Zimbabwe, Morocco trade tackles with Comoros, as Gabon slug it out with Ghana. Still on football, African football governing body CAF has announced North African country Algeria as the next host of the 2023 championship of the African Nations Cup, CHAN, scheduled to hold from January 8th to 31st, 2023. Morocco and DR Congo are the most successful teams in the championship, having won the titles twice each. In basketball, all is now set for the 2022 Mark the Ball basketball tournament, which will dunk off Saturday at the indoor hall of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. Media director of the tournament, Kingsley Aigbonoga, says 16 female teams will slug it out for the next 8 days, while about 20 male teams, starting after the female, will slug it out for the next 3 months.
We have had age-grade basketball, all that fizzled out. That's what we are bringing back. That's why we call it the new face of basketball.
And finally, Australia have revoked tennis star Novak Djokovic's visa for the second time over his right to remain in the country unvaccinated. The decision by Immigration Minister Alex Hawke on the grounds of health and good order means the tennis player could be deported. The men's tennis world #1 was scheduled to play in the Australian Open, which begins on Monday. With Sports Update, Cynthia Ogun, NTA News.
And those are the stories that made the news on Nationwide. We thank you for watching. Remember to always join the NTA in its efforts to rid the country of rape and rapists. We thank you for watching. I'm Lami Ali.